I'm Becca.
And I'm Mike.
And we're Rumble Pack.
Nice, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
We started writing songs that were just kind of silly. I think when everybody was stuck inside, we were doing a lot of jokey stuff, and the more we produced, the more it felt like this might actually work for kids. This might actually, and probably has a lot to do with the fact that I have like the brain of a child.
Me too. I'm totally a kid at heart, and when you're making mac and cheese, you got to sing about it.
Yeah. So we just wanted to take some of the silly songs that we were doing and give it a serious shot. And I think the more fun we had with it, the more we felt like, wow, we should turn this into a band.
Yeah, we also have a lot of friends with kids now, so that made it easy to, switch into the little kid gear and
it's like
help them like punk music too.
Yeah, it's inspiring to hear people talk about these little instances that happen with their kids, or the questions that their kids have, or silly things that happen, and so that was kind of the inspiration behind it. I felt like there's a lot of there's so much bridging the gap to be done between the music that kids like and the music that parents like. So the whole goal was, what if we wrote songs where the lyrics are kid-friendly and kind of aimed at themes like that, but the music sounds more familiar to mom and dad. So it might sound like punk bands that you listened to back in the 90s or early 2000s, something like that. So we figured maybe it'd be a good way to get parents and kids to connect over music that isn't the ABCs or Baby Shark over and over.
But it's still appropriate for kids.
Yeah.
So, our influences are different. I'm more of like a pop punk vibe, and Mike's a lot more hardcore and heavier stuff. So we try to write songs, in both veins, and it works out pretty good.
Yeah, it's helpful to have somebody who has like the pop sensibility, and somebody to be there and say like, well, I like bands like Green Day, and those bands are very successful, so there's something about that structure that works, but I personally would love to put blast beats behind the ABCs, and so
which we did.
Yeah, which we totally did. So then that would be it, right? It's like, obviously we could talk all day about how many cool bands have influenced us. There's always going to be the Saves the Days of the world. So as far as the influences go, I definitely like heavier stuff. She likes poppier stuff. We tried our best to smash that together and make something that at least sounds cohesive. But again, it's a way. So it's a way for the parents that are taking in this music to find some familiarity. It's gonna sound like bands that you used to care about, except the lyrical content is about a pizza party, stuff like that. So we just released an EP this fall called Something to Get Stoked About, and you can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And we actually recorded it in our practice space here with a guy named John Angelo. Shout out to John Angelo, he does amazing work. And we put out a demo about a year before that. So we currently have 2 releases up for your listening pleasure.
Pizza Party.
Yeah, the first single from Something to Get Stoked About was called Pizza Party. We did a music video with some paper bag puppets. We thought it would be kind of cool to introduce this little DIY aspect, and did the whole, we're gluing googly eyes to our chins and getting a green screen and all of that
puppets.
stuff. Yeah,
chin puppets. Very cool.
That was a lot of fun. So far, it's just been the 2 of us recording with John Angelo. We definitely have plans to put out more music and play some shows in the future. We're just still kind of getting this project off the ground, so very cool of you to come through and do this little expose for us and help us put it out there.
Yeah, we've been talking about maybe jumping more into the YouTube platform and doing some maybe animation, maybe working with someone who's good at making puppets. We have some friends who have a record label called Triple Hammer, and we might be you know.
Yeah, maybe we get a chance to work with Triple Hammer on a release. I would love to be able to develop this into like a web series where maybe there's a song at the end of every episode or something like that. Because it seems like shows would be great. That would be an awesome platform. But how do I get parents and kids alike to come out to the shows? You know what I mean? So if maybe we could produce something that they could connect to visually, it could be kind of cool to make it like a total package and not just EPs on Spotify. So yeah, go ahead.
If you know anything about Nintendo 64, you know about Rumble Pack, and more specifically, it was what, like a thing that you could connect to your controller?
Yeah, the Rumble Pack is probably the single greatest human achievement of all time. It was a little auxiliary device that you could plug into the back of a Nintendo 64 controller that would give you like real-time haptic vibes. So it's not quite 3D, it's almost 4D. It's an immersive experience, right? When you were a kid and you were playing Mario Kart, you loved nothing more than when that controller lit up for you know what I mean? And you have to sit there and enjoy having that in your hands. And we just thought that would be the coolest name for a band of all time.
Plus, during the pandemic, we did write a song about playing Nintendo 64, and it was our first.
That's true. I think the genesis for this whole thing was writing a song about Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And it was just like a little goofy thing for Instagram, and that's what got the ball rolling.
It was like so much fun, and you know, it was really easy for us to work together on such a silly thing that we just are rolling with it.
Yeah. Star Fox 64 might be the best.
Yeah, we
you know what
really
I'm saying?
like Smash Brothers too.
Yeah, the classics. GoldenEye, you know what I mean? You got to do that if you like to get competitive. But Mario Kart is like the quintessential classic. There's such a low barrier of entry. Everybody loves Mario Kart.
Right.
You know what I mean? Can't get better than that.
I really liked Yoshi's Storybook.
Yoshi's Storybook is great.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Donkey Kong 64.
Donkey
It's so
Kong,
hard though. It's like impossible. Yeah. My favorite Rumble Pack song is definitely Pizza Party. I think that like encapsulates what we do the best. I feel like it blends a lot of the like pop punk sounds as well as the hardcore elements pretty well. And I mean, it's just super catchy. How could you not like a song about a pizza party, right? But yeah, and stuff like that is just it's the ethos that I took with me back from the like punk and hardcore days and going to shows. The things that I connected with were those big anthem parts where the chorus is hit and everybody is doing the angry finger point and singing along, and it seems like right to me in my soul to do that with pizza now. You know what I mean?
I love all of our songs, but I think my favorite one is You Can Do It. Sometimes I listen to that song, like even as an adult. That's why like this is so cool for you know, kids and adults. When I listen to that song, I literally feel like I can do anything, and you need to listen to it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it too. Being able to do something that has a positive message, even if the songs are goofy, even if the songs are about macaroni and cheese or something, there's a positivity to it that, and I won't say that that's missing from music, but it's something that we're excited to contribute. You know, so it's something that you can get stoked about.
It's something you can get stoked about.
You know. For me, a dream lineup would be AFI, top of the bill, right? The Aquabats, and then Rumble Pack. I feel like I have gone to AFI shows and seen just as many young guys there, little kids, there with mom and dad, like this legacy act that they've been listening to for 25, 30 years already. And so it's like, yeah, you see these kids at the shows with these giant headphones on and stuff like that, but they're loving it. They're really enjoying it. And it's like such a special thing because obviously there was something about that music that hit you. It struck a chord, it affected you, it changed you maybe. Now that you brought a life into the world, it's such a cool thing to be able to share that with them. So I mean, I would love to see Rumble Pack on a bill with like the Aquabats and AFI.
I would go like, well, since Davey Havok like wrote those children's books, or he wrote a children's book or something like that, he would start the show
spoken word.
Yeah, spoken
Love
word,
it.
reading some of his children's books. Then it would be the Aquabats getting everybody psyched, and then it would be Rumble Pack headlining for sure.
You can find Rumble Pack on Instagram at rumble.pack. You can find Rumble Pack on YouTube at rumblepackny. Please check out our EP, Something to Get Stoked About. Please show your kids Pizza Party, and thanks for listening.